Alright, people, sit back, relax. I'm gonna do an episode of onsokumaru's blog for you guys, and take note. This is gonna be kind of a sad one. So have your tissues at the ready. Now, okay. Some of this stuff, Bugsy actually told me himself. But for some of you like new subscribers that know Bugsy as a hero, a paragon of justice, a savior of worlds and whatnot. Well, he didn't start out that way. And here, let me tell you why. He was kind of made that way in a way. Okay. Fast forward maybe a few years after me and Bugsy left Mobius, and Bugsy went to the DC universe and eventually left there. He decided to become a GP officer, which means Galaxy Police. Now, I joined him too because I thought it'd be I think it was something productive we could do. We could be heroes and save lives on other planets. But that's how they get you in. They get you in with the freaking promotional video, but it's not like the freaking promotional video at all. But you do hunt down pirates. People are either third class, fourth class detectives, or what have you. And Bugsy was kind of like he was kind of in the freaking in one of the ranking in the running to be first class detective. But he was an officer, man. He was gonna jump like all the ranks to be first class without going to the other ones because he was that good. So, headquarters, they gave him like a uncertain mission. They told him to catch the as they called her, the deadly space pirate Ryugo. Now, Bugsy back then, he became more of a as he got a little bit older, he became more of a stick in the mud. And let's just say he was a little bit more uptight than he used to be when he was in Mobius, when he was more free and loose. But no, he played by the book. A little bit. Every now and again he'd play by the book. And this was like one of those times he does. So, he's at a bar and he tells the space pirate. But then he finds out the space pirate is actually pretty beautiful. He told me this. He was trying to get her, and he said, he's like, Space Pirate Ryugo, you are under, and then he looked at her and he's like, you're under a and Bugsy looked. I was like, wow, man, seriously, you ain't gonna run her in? You just gonna let her escape? I'm like, and Bugsy was like, no, I'm not gonna let her escape. Come on, Artie, let's do this. And he was like, and I was like, all right, let's go. I swear to God, Bugsy decided, he'll tell her tell her alone. And I don't know. After a while, I guess you get kind of like a Batman syndrome when it comes. You get kind of like a Batman syndrome where you're kind of like, think of it like Batman and Catwoman. Batman pursues Catwoman, but you never really see him put Catwoman in jail or anything. I mean, you never really see Batman really put Catwoman in jail or something like that. You just see him chase after her. And that's the same thing that was going on with Bugsy at the time. He literally chases after her all the time until I guess he started to grow pretty attached to her, and I guess in the same way she grew attached to him. Until one fateful day, Bugsy was chasing her, and she looks at him and says, why do you chase after me? Bugsy looked and said, because it's my job. And she says, she said, obviously you must have some sort of attraction to me, and then Bugsy was like, I do. I he goes, yeah, I do, but my job is to take you in, regardless of how I actually feel about this or not. And then she says, you know, how about me, I'll let you ditch being a Galaxy police officer and come with me. And Bugsy, he says yes, but he had to say he's leaving the guy. He had to say, I couldn't find Ryoko. I hereby leave the Galaxy Police. Now I knew something was up, but I asked him like, Bugsy, seriously, you're leaving the Galaxy Police? Is this what you want? And Bugsy looked at me and said, yes, honey, this is what I want. He looked at me for a minute and winked, and then I was like, oh snap. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell any of our superiors because they really didn't need to know about this. I know. But I never really played by the book, even when I was a Galaxy Police officer myself. So I let Bugsy have that one. Oh, they ran away together. They went to Earth together. Started a family. Bugsy will always remember that and cherish the moments he had in that life. And I guess that's the reason he gets angry sometimes when he watches the Tenchimuyo thing, because she's in there. It's like one of those little things that just remind him. But the real reason is, after 2 years, one of our cousins that really hated Bugsy came one day. Bugsy was on patrol because he became a local superhero in that town, and he flew around. He flew around a little bit. He flew around. Okay, let me get some background music for you guys because yeah, there's a lot of background noise in the back. So let me get something for you guys so I can equalize it for you. Okay. Let me go get something. Let me go get something to kind of equalize that for you. Okay. Anyways, Bugsy became a local superhero, but I guess, like I said, one of our cousins that actually absolutely hated Bugsy came there, wanted to destroy Bugsy, but since Ryoko was there, I don't really think she ever had a job, really, but she was there. The kids were there, and he killed her, stabbed her. About as strong as she is, she got stabbed because she was protecting the kids. Bugsy came back and noticed what happened. The kids were all knocked out. Bugsy was so freaking sad, but he knew who did it because he knew that our cousin Blade Up would be back, but instead of the one thing that Ryoko said before she died to Bugsy, and he'll never forget this, and he told me this one time. Bugsy was standing over her dead body, and she was still kind of alive, and Bugsy was crying, and she looked at him and said, in kind of a weak, kind of soft voice, that she said, "Tears, they really don't suit you, Argos." And now she'd always call him Argos. We'd all call him Bugsy, but no, Argos is his actual Saiyan name. And Bugsy just sat there. Bugsy was like, he looked at her and said, and this is all the stuff that Bugsy told me. He said, I will avenge you, my love. Just know this. I will avenge you. And I will take care of our children. I need you. Remember, And she said, also, you remember, I will always, she said, I will always love you. And then Bugsy just dropped to his knees and was crying. I came like 2 minutes after that, and it was a sight. The kids were knocked out. She was dead. Bugsy was just standing over her body, and it was horrible. So what me and Bugsy did, Bugsy knew that he'd have to kill him, and you know, they fought. I freaking flew Bugsy there because he was sad. He was out of it, and I said I'd take him there, and I helped him fight. I helped him fight off some of Bloody's thugs that were there, and they fought, and Bugsy died. That was the first time he died. Then something magical happened. Since Bugsy's a Sand Lord, but at the time we didn't know what Sand Lords were. But he regenerated. And not like how the Doctor regenerates with a new body and a new face. Well, I guess that's the first time he remembered he died. He died more times than that, but that's a different story altogether. So Bugsy regenerated, but he was himself. He looked like himself still. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different versions of this story, but because Bugsy only remembers what he kind of still remembers, regeneration is kind of like this weird process with him when he kind of remembers a little bit of his memory. But he did become a Soul Reaper for a time after that. He did take the kids. He took the kids far away from him, from different dimensions, because he was afraid that Bloody Duff would come back. Now he's called the Ultimate, but he was afraid that he'd come back and kill the kids while he wasn't around. So he took them to different universes all entirely. So even the Ultimate himself couldn't try to touch them. And he fought the Ultimate one more time, again, but he did bring Ryoga back. She remembered him, but Ultimate still had her under his control, and when Bugsy killed him for that second time, he almost died. And I was there for that too, and Bugsy said, "I'm not gonna lose you again." And you could just hear him, the sadness in his voice. He was crying. He's like, I'm not gonna lose you again. I won't. And then, just all of a sudden, that same light that he did when he regenerated, it filled her body. But Bugsy also did one thing that day. He made sure she wouldn't remember. He felt that she'd be happier not knowing who Bugsy was. She knew Tenchi at that time, because during the whole Earth thing, she kind of fell for Tenchi, and I don't even want to talk about it. So Bugsy implanted memories in her, fake memories, about her and Tenchi. Some of them were real, some of them were fake. And he took her to Tenchi's place, the Misaki Shrine, and just left. Bugsy still, I mean, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't be doing Tenchi and Tokyo from Mako, because it brings back all these old, sad memories that he has. But I always say to Bugsy, don't always think about the negative. Think about the positive. Think about everything that went on in you guys' lives, and just enjoy that. But Bugsy always kind of focuses on the negative, and being the fact that Tenchi always, kind of, in a way, in his own dumb way, Bugsy will always say this to Tenchi: "You're a freaking child." He'll say that to Tenchi, because Tenchi didn't really like all the chicks around him, but he always acted like a kid, and me and Bugsy will always say, like, you're like a teenager and yet you don't want all these chicks around you. So what is your problem? Now, the reason he really hates Tenchi and the fact that he did made so Ryoko wouldn't remember anything about anything. He did this for our own protection, but, you know, I guess he regrets it in some way he does. I don't know, people. You know, the thing about Bugsy is he'll never truly admit how sad he really is. That's just how he is. He'll think of everybody else before he thinks of himself. And, you know, that's how he is. But I know right now he's probably he's outside right now, and I know he's probably smoking that cigar, and it's probably just hurting him just to be thinking about it. But I think he'll be okay. I know sometimes Bugsy can be a little bit of a jerk. He can be brainy. He can be violent. I mean, he can be a little bit violent when he wants to be. He can be jokey. He can be pranky. But above all else, the one thing he has is courage, his kindness, everything that makes him him. And you guys ask, why do you still follow around Bugsy? Why do you still always follow Bugsy around wherever he goes? Because I know wherever he goes, I'll follow, because he'll need me. He'll need me to help him out, cheer him up. Me and him going to a bar, going to drink, you know. Because I'm his brother, and I'll always be there for him when he needs me. No matter what. No matter what goes down, no matter if we're trapped in the underworld or angels are attacking us from heaven, I'll still be there. Wherever and whenever he needs me, because that's the kind of brother I am. Because and I know that's what he'd do. So, people, I hope you enjoyed this onsokumaru's vlogs. I know it was sad, but I really had to talk about this, because he ain't gonna talk about this with y'all. He wasn't gonna talk about this with you guys, and it really needed to be told. So see you guys later. Bye.